Vasudeva. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I want to receive the blessing of Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar Krishna Balaram Bal Gopal. Blessing the Bhagavan Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. Shishi Gaunitai. Tulsi Mani Haridas Thakur, Guru Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. So, continuing on Srimad Bhagavat Puran, chapter 10. So, yesterday we looked at Dhruv Maharaj and how he went to the forest, came back, self-realized soul. And now we're going to continue with Dhruv Maharaj, his fight with the Yakshas. So King Uttampada was so anxious for self-realization that he renounced the kingdom and family even before Dhruv was married. Thereafter, Dhruv Maharaj married the daughter of Prajapati Shishumara, whose name was Bharami, and had two sons named Kalpa and Vatsara were born of her. The daughter of so he married also the daughter of demigod Vayu named Ila. By her he begot a son Utkala and a very beautiful daughter. Once while out hunting in the Himalayas, Dhruv's brother Uttam was killed by a yaksh. Angry with Dhruv then went on a chariot to the yaksha's city where many ghostly beings lived. He blew his conch shell, announcing his intention to attack the city. Unable to tolerate the sound of the conch shell, the yakshas came out to attack. A huge army of incest yakshas attacked Dhruv, showering him with millions of weapons. Valiant Dhruv, who was a great charioteer and certainly a great bowman also, shattered their weapons, devastating the army like a blasting wind scatters clouds. As heroes, they lauded the action of Dhruv. The Yakshas began to flee, just as elephants flee when defeated by a lion. Dhruv observed that in that great battlefield, not one of the opposing soldiers was left standing with proper weapons. He then desired to see the city of Alakapuri, but he thought to himself, no one knows the plan of the mystic Yakshas. So he continued killing them, rallying their troops. The Yakshas cloud Dhruv in a huge dust storm, sending showers of terrible weapons and hailstones. It rained blood, mucus, pus, stool, urine, etc. Even human trunks began to fall. So these are like illusory. So the mystics, Yakshas. Massive serpents vomiting fire, mad elephants, tigers, lions approached to devour him, and a fierce ocean appeared to overwhelm him, as if it were the time of dissolution. So this is a little idea. There's the ocean there. There's snakes and lions and tigers came to attack Dhruv. To help Dhruv overcome the Yaksha's illusions, the great sages reminded Dhruv of the power of the holy names of the Lord. Simply by chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord, anyone can be fully protected from fierce death without difficulty. Thus a devotee is saved. So this is very good instructions. By offering the prayers, the sages also reminded Dhruv about the Narayan Astra weapon, which is capable of destroying all the illusions created by the Yakshas. Chapter 11. Swambhu. Sorry, yes, Nanima.
Before I forget, when they say these are illusory, so does it mean they are real? And it cannot be, I can't understand that concept, illusory.
Yeah, I know
When
what you mean.
it will appears very real.
Appears very, and it can actually cause attack, like a heart attack or stress. They may be illusory, but because they appear very real, they can still destroy one's mind, basically. So
Okay.
yeah,
Actually, they are not there. Actually, these fierce animals or
illusory.
snakes are not there, is it?
Yeah, they're not there. They're not there. They're
They are not.
illusory. Yeah, they're illusory.
Okay.
But it's a tough concept to understand, actually. Yeah, It's a tough concept to understand. But because they seem so real, they can
Yeah.
basically destroy the heart, you know. So
Mm, mm, yeah.
thank you. Good point. Swayambhu Manu advises Dhruv Maharaj to stop fighting. So, fixing the Narayan Shatra arrow on the bow and discharging volleys of or golden hissing arrows, Dhruv vanquished the illusions and cut the charging yakshas to pieces. To be killed either by the Lord or by his pure devotees is very auspicious for the non-devotees. However, the yakshas killed by Dhruv, although entering Satyalok, which is unattainable only by first-class brahmacharis, will not be liberated at the end of Brahma's life, but will come back to this life. And the reason is they may go to Satyalok, but they don't have the mood of the devotee. So that's why they will not go to the spiritual world. Normally, whoever is in Brahmlok or Satyalok, at the end of uh, Brahma's life, they would be transferred to the spiritual world if they're devotees. But if they're like the yakshas, then they will simply remain in this material world. Hearing that Dhruv was killing many innocent yakshas, his grandfather Swayambhu Manu ordered Dhruv to stop fighting. For one yaksha's offense of killing Uttam, Dhruv had killed many others who are innocent. Manu explained that such killing based on temporary bodily affection was irreligious and unbecoming for their illustrious family line. Instead, he should behave with tolerance, mercy, friendship, and equality. This is very high level philosophy because Dhruv was angry. Although he was a devotee, he was still angry because Uttam was his brother. But the offense caused by one yakshas has led to so many yakshas being killed by Dhruv. So Manu came and intervened, said, this is not good. Manu also explained that it is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets. But Dhruv was so fortunate that he was already destined to go to that abode. Because you are a pure devotee of the Lord and recognized as such by the sages, Dhruv's life is meant for exemplary behavior, and Manu was surprised why he was undertaking such an abominable task. So, sometimes devotees can get a little diverted. Right? It shows they're human. It shows that they are, not ordinary, they're extraordinary, but they're still human. They still have human emotions. And they can sometimes be mistaken. Sometimes they can be mistaken. And here Manu is correcting Dhruv. Manu, noticing that Dhruv was still not satisfied due to his brother's death, continued pacifying Dhruv, explaining that the death of Dhruv's brother was predestined. In other words, the yakshas, although the immediate cause of Uttam's death, were not the absolute cause. There are many elements that bring about death. So, what are these different elements? The Lord Himself, He is the cause of all causes, including birth and death. But the Lord is not to be blamed for anything, for He is neutral. So He doesn't cause our death, but He is the cause of all causes. Only by His inconceivable power is everything happening. In His feature of eternal time, He is present in the material world. And in His features eternal time, He destroys everything in this material world. And is neutral towards everyone. No one is His ally, no one is His enemy. Although everything is exhausted in due course of time. Everything is destroyed in due course of time. Within the jurisdiction of the time element, everyone enjoys or suffers the results of his own karma or fruitive activities, according to the interaction of the different modes of nature. So these are different factors in play when which Manu was explaining to Dhruv. It wasn't just the yakshas. Yes, he was the immediate cause. But you have to understand, there is destiny. He was meant to die. due to time, due to the Lord's, nothing happens without the Lord's mercy. So, karma, so many things come into play. Manu encourages Dhruv by reminding him of his great achievement at the age of 5, to surrender and serve the all-powerful Supreme Lord. Manu also instructs Dhruv to give up his anger and the illusory understanding of I and mine, regain his natural position and render service to the Lord as temporarily affected by Maya. He's temporarily affected by Maya. Interesting. And to pacify Kuver, because Kuver and Shiva, they're actually the guardians of the Yakshas, who were offended by Dhruv's actions, which could affect the family. So he advised him, you go to Kuver, go to Lord Shiva, and beg their forgiveness. Chapter 12. Kuver is very pleased. Also, the name of the chapter, Dhruv Maharaj goes back to Godhead. So Kuver is very pleased when Dhruv followed Manu's advice and further guided Dhruv about misidentifying the self with the body and to engage oneself fully in devotional service of the Lord. So interesting how Dhruv had to be reminded. Kuver asked Dhruv to accept a benediction from him. Dhruv intelligently asked, as he could have asked for immense riches from the treasure of the demigods. But what did he ask? Kuver to bless him with unflinching faith and remembrance of the Supreme Lord. That's what we need. This immense faith that Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, he will always look after us. He cares for us very much. He's our eternal Father. And we have to establish this relationship, this faith upon him, and remembering him at any time, all the time, every time. This is actually very important. Even some crazy things may happen to us, but my Lord, please let me remember you, even through those difficult times. Although Kuver was not a pure devotee of the Lord, Dhruv was more spiritually advanced than him. Still, Dhruv asked for unbroken remembrance of the Lord, just in case Kuver was displeased with him, which could have acted as an obstacle in his Krishna Smaranam. Sometimes this happens when somebody is offended. Like Rupa Goswami one time was doing bhajan. He was remembering, he was closed his eyes, he was remembering the pastimes of the Lord, and Radha and Krishna, they were on the swing. Julan Yatra was in full swing, and Krishna, he swung the swing so much, it went all the way around. And Radharani just grabbed Krishna because she was so scared. And this made Rupa Goswami laugh. But when he laughed, a Brahmin was walking by. And this Brahmin had a little defect in his body. And he thought, Rupa Goswami is laughing at me. Although Rupa Goswami's eyes were closed, he was in Krishna Smaranam. But the Brahmin thought that Rupa Goswami was laughing at his particular body. So he became offended and he didn't say anything, he just walked away. Anyway, immediately, Rupa Goswami lost Krishna Smaranam, couldn't find it. He couldn't remember, he couldn't focus on the Lord. And he was perplexed. What happened? I was really enjoying the Lord's pastimes and suddenly there's nothing. So he went to Sanatan Goswami and he explained what's going on here. Oh, Sanatan Goswami, this can only be a result of some offense you have caused to a devotee or Brahman. Oh, I haven't offended anybody. Rupa Goswami said, let's find out. Let's announce a feast cooked by yourself. Let's invite everybody. And the person who doesn't come, you should understand that he is offended by your behavior. Something you've done has offended him. So they made the feast. Everybody came except this one Brahmin who was offended. And then Rupa Goswami went to him and said, "Why didn't you come? Have I offended you?" "Oh, yes. I was walking by one day and you laughed at me and I felt offended by your behavior." "Oh, when was that?" "Yesterday." "Oh, no, I was not looking at you. I was remembering the Lord's pastimes. Please forgive me." And of course, the Brahmin, he forgave Rupa Goswami because there was nothing to really forgive, but he forgave him. And then immediately Rupa Goswami again sat and Krishna Smaranam came to his mind again. So we got to be very careful, and this is what Dhruv Maharaj was doing, that please let me always remember God. Even though Kuver is not on the same level as Dhruv spiritually. So it's very instructive, very, very instructive. So we should always be humble. We shouldn't think, "Oh, I'm more spiritually advanced than this person. I can, behave as I want." No, not necessarily. Even a slight offense to so-called, lower devotees can be very devastating. Considering the father of the citizens, Dhruv performed many sacrifices to please Lord Vishnu. He rendered service to the Lord, was respectful to the devotees, and kind to the innocent. He ruled the world for 36,000 years. Wow. He used his pious credits by enjoyment and his impious credits by austerity. Actually, he didn't have any pious or sinful reactions since he had already developed Krishna Prem. Considering his opulence and illusory creation of material energy, Dhruv left his kingdom and family behind at the end of his life. At Badrikaksham, he performed yoga. So Badrikaksham is near the Himalayas. He performed yoga, fixed his mind on the Lord in a static trance of devotional service. He became liberated. Seeing a brilliantly beautiful airplane carrying two associates of Vishnu, Nand and Sunanda. So these two are the same gatekeepers who came down. Same gatekeepers who came down as demons, I think, who resembled Lord Vishnu. Dhruv, bewildered, simply offered respects by folding his hands and chanting the holy names. The Vishnu Dutas explained to Dhruv that because he is worthy, they had come to take him to the Lord's abode, which is very rare to achieve, which has not been attained by his forefathers or anyone else, and is the residence of Lord Vishnu. Congratulating Dhruv for his advanced state of devotion, they invited him to board the Vaikuntha plane. Considering the plane to be as good as Vishnu, Dhruv first took bath, performed daily rituals, accepted blessings from the sages, worshipped and circumambulated the aeroplane, and offered his respects to the Vishnu Dutas. Offering his respects to Vishnu, he prepared to board the aeroplane. While boarding the Vaikuntha airplane, his body changed to a completely spiritual golden hue. No one can surpass the highest planets in the material body. But when one gets a spiritual body, he can travel not only to higher planetary systems of this material world, but even to the still higher planetary system known as Vaikuntha Lok. This is very interesting. When Dhruv was attempting to get on the transcendental plane, he saw death personified approach him. Not caring for death, however, he took advantage of the opportunity to put his feet on the head of death, and thus he got up on the plane. So the Lord of Death comes at that time to help the devotee step on to the transcendental aeroplane. The demigod sang and showered flowers as he traveled through the universe up to Vaikuntha. However, Dhruv was remembering his mother, Suniti, thinking he cannot go without her. But as he looked back, he saw his mother following him in another plane. There you go. So Dhruv realized, oh, my mother is the one who gave me the original instruction. Go and worship Vishnu. So how can I go without her? How can I go to the spiritual world without her? So, but she was right behind him. Dhruv was flown to the pole star, which is beyond the planets of the seven rishis, the sun, and Swaha, but below Mahalok. So there you go. Below Mahalok, above all the other planets. Dhruvlok, also known as the pole star, is the abode of Kshirodaksha Vishnu within this material world. Upon it, there is an ocean of milk, Shwetadweep, and within that ocean, there is an island known as Shwetadweep. Kshirodaksha Vishnu as Paramatma Supersoul is situated in everyone's heart and even every atom. At the Pacheta's sacrificial arena, Narad describes how Dhruv attained a very exalted position by performing austerities at the tender age of 5 years old in a short period of time. He conquered the Supreme Lord by his devotion. By hearing the story of Dhruv, one can increase one's wealth, reputation, lifespan. One can also achieve Swarga or Dhruv's own planet. Hearing the story counteracts one's bad karma. By trying to understand Dhruv's pure character, one can attain pure devotional service, develop qualities like him. So that's the end of chapter 12. Any questions? Any comments? Wonderful pastor.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Why did he have to go and fight back? Because of his brother died.
Yes, because the Yaksha killed the brother.
And who was Yaksha?
Yakshas they're like ghostly beings. They're like a little bit like demons.
Oh,
Yeah, a little bit like demons. But
and was this in a Dhruvlok?
No, this was on earth.
Earth, oh right.
On earth or in heavens, somewhere away from Dhruvlok. Nobody can go there except those who are already liberated. So,
See, when you said he fight back, is it just to take the revenge?
yes. He had basically a little bit of Maya had attacked him. But it didn't matter because he was still a pure devotee. But it shows that Maya is so strong. We should not take Maya for granted.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah.
It's just that when you he keeps saying Amarucha, Amarucha, Amarucha.
Yes, it.
That is
I and mine. Yeah,
that is all Maya.
Yeah. Yes.
And something you mentioned just now, island of milk. So what does that mean?
Oh, there's an ocean of milk.
Ocean milk.
Yeah. There are many oceans. Ours is salty water. There's an ocean of sweet water in another planet. Yeah.
All right. And there is an ocean of milk also.
Milk, the ocean of honey, the ocean of...
Where are these?
These are in different planetary systems.
Oh, different planet. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, anybody else? Anything else? Okay, let's stop there. Srimad Bhagavad Puran ki jai. Dhruv Maharaj ki jai.